Hey guys, it's Mindset Arc podcast and its host Dean. I don't remember the number of the episode, but I just finished writing an article and I wanted to follow up with a video. So the title of the article was that it was about that you cannot help everyone, you cannot save everyone, but I still believe that you can try to do that. So I wanted to expand a little bit more on that. There's a little different dynamic from writing an article and just saying my thoughts out loud, especially since I become better at looking at the camera and just conveying my thoughts. It is a bit more relaxed and just straight out of my mind. So I wanted to follow up on that and expand a bit. But yeah, if you want to, you can go into my website, into my blog, and read that article. I will leave the link in the description as well. Yeah, it will be something like excerpt and a little more different stuff, I believe. So yeah, let's just get to it. The cause of me writing this article, the cause of me addressing this theme that that you cannot help everyone, and it appeared into my mind from a recent event that happened. Like I just met with a friend and I tried to talk to them. They had some problems that I thought were kind of messing with their life, and I really wanted to help. Yeah, and by doing that, I stumbled upon, well, like I did that a lot of times previously, but I stumbled upon a lot of resistance, a lot of defending, and just not understanding the like my point of view. And I get it totally. Like I don't expect someone else to understand my point of view. But that caused me to think. That caused me to think that I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have went in deeper and tried to help and tried to convey my point of view. Because what I'm trying to do with this content, what I'm trying to do in my coaching, what I'm trying to do with all of the people I meet, who I want to help improve their lives. I try to give them something that helped me already. And that may not work for them. That is okay. But that is still something that I want to give to them. Because for someone who would be maybe at the same situation I am, maybe a different situation, but it will apply. So for someone, it will work. Something that worked with me will work with them as well. That's why I'm trying to just relate to myself and just share my experience and point out the things that can help. Yeah, when these clashes of it can happen from people being at different levels of readiness. It can happen from people being at just having different experiences in life, and yeah, I totally understand that. I just wanted to get a message to all of you who doing kind of the same thing as I am, who, or if you're not doing this professionally, at least trying to give some advice. Because I believe when we are at the point when we get to a pretty good level, or we handle something that we tried to do for a long time. I've worked on my positive thinking and mindset and looking for solutions for years. And now, when I got a lot of results from it, I want to give it to people. And I believe everyone was when we find something that works for us, we want to share it with someone. It's just a human nature. I think so. So I am addressing all of you guys and girls who are listening to this who want to give advice to someone, but think that their advice can be. There is a notion in the society that there is unwanted advice. That if someone doesn't want your help, then shut up and don't do that. Like, just ask them if they want your help, or you will hurt them, or you will just be an arrogant bastard who inconsiderate to other people's feelings and all of this shit. I don't agree with that. It may be true. It may be true that you will be ignorant, that you will be arrogant by sharing your experience and pressing to that. And you can hurt them. But I don't believe you're wrong by doing that. I don't believe that you specifically should stop doing that because of not everyone will agree with that. Not everyone will like that. I don't agree with that sentiment. Now there can be a point where there are several things to consider here. Firstly, why you want actually to help them, and I expanded a bit more an article about that, but you may want to help them because you actually want their life to be better, and that is like a state of love, of acceptance, of just giving, of joy, something like that, or at least courage. And there is a different cause why we can do that, because we believe if we can change this person, it may make our lives better, and that is not a really good mindset to have even for yourself, because you're making yourself to depend on other people for happiness. And just it's good to remember that if you actually want some other person to change so you would get more out of it, you would probably be better just trying to give that to yourself, or just finding people who already can give it to you. I would just not try to change other person to get something out of them. But if you believe that their life could be better, that they can be happier if they follow your advice, there's another point to consider, that if you do that, if you continue to give advice, just know that there can be consequences to that. Like, people can get defensive easily because you're ruining their perfect world, they perfect beliefs that they created for their life, and you just trying to get there, trying to change that, you're shaking their foundation. And some people are ready for that, some people can get hurt, but it will be better for them. I mean, they can learn from that almost immediately and see how it will actually be better for them. Some people may get defensive, some people may lash back at you, some people may get angry, try to convince you that you're in the wrong here, try to blame you. Like, you can get a lot of negative reactions out of people, and just understand that it may happen. It's a defense mechanism. Letting go of our learned beliefs that we had for a long time is a pretty hard thing to do, and it can cause a lot of insecurities to come up. And when we feel insecure, we try to defend ourselves, we try to attack preemptively, right? So you may be attacked. I'm not meaning physically, though it can happen physically as well, but mentally definitely. It may happen really often. So when you do that, understand the consequences that this may happen. Don't be surprised by them just lashing back at you because you wanted to help. That may happen. But the only thing another thing you need to consider is there may be consequences to that, and you may already experience some of them. And if you still want to persist, if you still believe that your advice can help them, and you accept all of the consequences, that they may leave, they may just get so angry at you and so not okay with you that they may just cut all the contact with you and just go their own way. That's their right. That can happen as well. But if you persist, if you still want to help them, just make sure that it doesn't hurt your life, because that is another point that we can fall into, another pitfall. We may get so obsessed at helping some other person, some person that is really dear to us, right? We really care about someone. They want their life to be better, but they just aren't ready. And you can still try. There's nothing wrong in trying, in keeping to try like for years, or never giving up on them. Always trying to find some solutions. But firstly, take care of yourself. If you feel like it's taking a toll on you, if it takes so much energy out of you that you cannot function, that your life starts to breaking apart, take a pause. You can always return to helping them later, or you can decide that it's literally ruins your life. But don't persist when you start hurting. Find a better place to be. Find some more energy, positive level to be, right? Like, and I don't like talking about energy levels, but I talk about emotional levels all the time as well, right? These emotional levels from letting go, from book by David Hawkins. So just by being on a more better emotional level, more higher one, somewhere in love, somewhere in acceptance, you just have a lot more energy to give. It doesn't hurt your life then to give. But if you're somewhere lower, if you're at the fringe yourself, like almost at the negative, or you haven't yet found your sure footing where you can stand upon very confidently, it may be really hard to help someone because every lash back against you, every attack back against you, every their defense will hurt you as well. And you may not have energy to handle that. So that's another point to consider here. Don't try to press on if you feel like it hurts your life. Take a pause. Yeah. Back to the point I wanted to talk about in the beginning. So you are not wrong by wanting to help people, by keep helping people. If by helping I mean like giving like voice advice or something, like don't try to physically do something for people when they don't want that. Like physical level uh, is completely different thing. I hope you understand that when I talk about this. um, Always the good point to remember when you try to help someone, when you try to improve someone's life, is to always get them. They should always have the chance to escape. And yeah, escape may have a negative connotation, but I mean, if that's a voice, if you're trying to speak to them, if you're trying to convey some advice to them, they should always have the opportunity to just say fuck you, no, and leave forever, or for a couple of days, or just for this particular minute or hour. But it has to be there. And it will help you, it will help them. It's like you will not put them into a corner where they cannot escape and they feel just like it may feel really fucked up when you don't have the opportunity to decide for yourself. It's like then you're at a point when you start deciding for themselves. So yeah, try not to do that. I hope it's clear. But other than that, if you give some people advice, if they don't want to hear your advice, they could just leave. They can just not keep listening. They can just go away and not contact you anymore for a while. Or they can specifically say to you, like, I don't want to hear that. And there is another point to consider. If you're really passionate about them, if you still want them to have a better life and you just cannot see them suffering, there may be a point when they would say to you, like, I don't want you to help me. But you just can't, you can't help but helping them, right? You just cannot see them hurting and trying to ruin their life. And then maybe one of the solutions to that is just not to see each other again, just or keep some distance, not be so close that you will. That's one of the solutions if you literally cannot stop trying to change their lives because you're so passionate about it. That's just considered for you and for them. But other than that, know that they always have the chance to get away, to escape, to stop you from. You cannot force them to do something that to follow your advice. You won't force them. They would want to choose that. If they keep listening to you, they chose to listen to you. If they absolutely don't see the reason, they won't listen to you. They will just get away. And that's the good point to remember. You're not forcing them to receive your help. They can think for themselves. They are grown up adults. Don't do that on children, by the way, until you know what you're doing. But yeah, I hope that's clear that I'm talking about like more on the same level interactions, interpersonal interactions. So yeah, you're not forcing people to do your will by giving them advice. They may think you're hurting them. You may hurt them. How do you know that's not the best thing for them? If they keep listening to your advice and it hurts them, maybe it's what they need. Maybe that hurt will cause them to change their life. We don't know. You cannot know for sure. If you think you do, just try to investigate that. Why do you think that? Can you absolutely know that your giving advice can help someone? And can you absolutely know that your stop giving advice will be the helpful thing for them? Just investigate these thoughts if you think you need that. But from my point of view, we cannot know what will be the best decision here. They may say that they don't need help, but they actually can need help. Or they may ask for help and it actually will hurt them if you help them. So there is no we cannot know what will happen in the future. We cannot know the results of our actions. We can a bit predict them, but I would say that the better point to consider is to have a good intentions. If your intentions are really that you want their life to improve in some way, if you want just to share your advice that you're passionate about, that it helped you, and you truly believe that it can help them, because that won't happen with everyone. For sometimes you will see people that you don't think your life experience will help them, but for some people you will. You will think that you may change something, you may help them with something, change their mindset, cause them to think positively more. That was what happened with me. But ultimately, I don't know if me helping them, helping my friend, think switching their life for the positive will be the best thing for them. I don't know that. Maybe their angered state right now, maybe their hurtful state right now helps them a lot. I think there is a better solution, but I don't know that for sure. I can only relate my experience. I can only think about that. I was at that point at some time ago, and if I would have started thinking more positively earlier, that probably would have helped me. So that's why what I'm trying to give. Another point to consider here, I'll stop slowly wrapping up. It's probably be the last point I'll say. Yeah, when you, even if they don't want your help, if they make it clear that they don't want your help, but they will keep listening, they will not leave, and you will be, I don't know, you may be passionate, you may be just reminding them of existence of the alternative. So try to think about it is not try to change them, but give them the alternative to current situation. So with the positive thinking, for example, I see that anger helps them right now. I see that, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, I would believe that switching from anger to some more at least neutral state, at least acceptance, something like that, would be really more beneficial and give them happier lives. So I'm presenting that as an opportunity, as an alternative. It may still cause a lot of lashing out back at me. That is okay. It is still an attempt to, assassinate current beliefs of that person. It still is. It still feels like that. But don't throw an ultimatum out to the people. Present them with opportunity. If they reject it, you can do that again. And just show them. Show by your own example. Show by example of other people. Just mention it at some point. What can happen there is when we see the alternative for a long time. I was seeing alternative for 3 years before I finally took it. It may take time. It may take a lot of repetitions. It may take a lot of proof that we're trying to find. But it can ultimately cause our mindset to change. So, the ending points here is if you want to help someone, if you genuinely believe that you can help someone, even if everyone tells you you're wrong and you shouldn't, you still can, if you think that will be the right decision. If you think that is the best choice in this situation, if you think that you can help them, keep doing that. It's just not giving up on some person, on that person you care about. Accept the consequences, accept that you may get hurt at the result of it. Accept that they may get hurt. Accept that they may leave. That is all the valid concerns. If you're okay with them, if you're accepting these results, these possibilities. It all will be okay. And you can handle these possibilities when they happen. It doesn't mean that if you try to help someone, they will leave immediately. You probably will get a chance to just say your own, just be honest, right? So yeah, I just wanted to say that it's okay to try to help someone even if it seems like there's a lot of resistance there. Just consider yourself, consider the consequences, and consider the other person, and follow your intentions. That's all I wanted to say for today, and I believe you will do a really great job at it. I encourage you to go out there and make the world a slightly better place. If you want to, of course. Or at least make your life better. It still adds something to the world. So yeah, that will be my closing thoughts for today. And as always, have fun with your life.